Hey guys, what's up? It's Johnny here, and welcome to another episode of The SIC Show. And as always, I'm super pumped to be here. I'm here with my main man, B. How are you, my brother?
I'm awesome today.
Awesome, man. This week on the show, we interview an awesome photographer, PhotoJoseph, and he's going to share an interesting story about himself.
Yeah, and he's going to share a project that he actually was working on, beauty after breast cancer. And he's the DIY photographer, so he makes his own stuff. So check it out, guys, and see how you can save a lot of money.
And don't forget to check out the link below this video and grab your free course. We're super pumped about them. Let's get into the show.
Enjoy.
Boom.
The SIC Show. Share, inspire, create.com. Share.
All right, Joseph, share something funny and, that not many people know about you.
Not many people. It's like be funny. It never works. No one's ever funny like that. No, I'm not funny. I'm not a funny guy. But something interesting. I don't know how many people know this, but I grew up in Spain, and it's a big part of me and kind of my life and who I've become today. I think it's interesting. I spent my childhood in Spain, which meant we spent my childhood traveling all over Europe, and that really crafted who I am today and part of the vision that I have for kind of everything that I do as far as how I see the world, how I see people, what I do with my career and my life. That international beginning to my upbringing was really, really an important part of that. So people who just meet me casually probably don't know that because it's not like it was yesterday. I was little, but it was a big part of my life.
How long did you live there for?
7 years. We moved there when I was 5 years old, and then came back when I was 12. So just before I turned 13.
Okay.
Back.
Yeah, that would definitely influence.
Yeah, formative years.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's interesting.
Inspire.
Inspire us with one of your amazing images.
So I guess you'll put some stuff up on screen, but we had a couple different projects we're going to talk about. One of them is this beauty after breast cancer project, and this is something that I'm working on right now. Actually, we just wrapped shooting, and the shot that you're probably looking at now is the cover of the book. Now because the book is all nudity, it's partial nudity. We can't really show those on here because of YouTube and all that good stuff. But the photo that you're looking at is the cover of the book, and the whole idea behind the book is it's going to be a beautiful coffee table style book that's going to go into breast cancer centers all over the world, hopefully. And the point is for women who are going through this, having to make the decisions of what to do facing breast cancer, that they will have some guidance on the beautiful choices that they can make and how they can still be and feel beautiful and sexy and wonderful even after breast cancer. It's obviously a very difficult thing to go through, and the choices that women have are quite numerous, but unfortunately they're usually faced with making them very, very quickly. And the photos that they're shown as far as what they will look like afterwards are usually very clinical and cold and kind of, nasty Polaroid snapshots type of thing. So the point of this book is to give them a beautiful book to go through casually that they can see and appreciate what can be done through choices of reconstruction or not, tattooing and not, and just the many choices that there are. So that's what the book is all about. And it's something we're, really, really proud of. It should be out this October to go along with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And the book is, so we wrapped shooting a few weeks ago. I still have some retouching to do. The book layout artist is hard at work right now putting all that together. And it's coming together really, really nicely. I'm super proud of it. It's definitely one of the bigger projects that I've ever worked on. I've been working on this for a couple of years now, and we're nearly there.
Wow. So tell me how you got involved in that, Joseph.
Well, as a mutual friend introduced me to the woman who's the principal on the project. She's the one who's put this whole thing together, and she initially came to me asked me to shoot one portrait. She was just getting started on the project, and she had the idea that she would find a photographer for every portrait. And this is a pretty small town where we are, and finding she originally wanted to shoot 33 subjects, so I think we ended up with 39, I think is in the book total.
Okay.
And it became very quickly apparent that finding a different photographer for every portrait was going to be a nightmare. And it just was not going to be an easy thing for her to do. And when I first got introduced to her and I was learning about the project, I had a very dear friend that was going through breast cancer recovery. And so it was a very personal thing for me at that moment. And so I just signed on to do the entire project. And, we talked about it and obviously decided that was going to be a great thing to do. So that's how I got involved and how I chose to do the entire thing, which has been a lot of work.
Yeah, I can imagine. And is it kind of your way of giving back a little bit?
I suppose so. It's I don't see it so much as giving back as just as doing what I can to help.
Oh, okay.
It's a tough situation. It's a horrible situation. The statistics, at least in this country, the statistics are ridiculous. It's something like 1 in 7 women will get breast cancer, which is
That's
just
crazy.
insane. And that, when you think of that, you realize that essentially every human on the planet will be touched by it. Everybody knows more than 7 women, and therefore you will know somebody who gets breast cancer. And in fact, it's not just women. In the book, we have a portrait of a guy. It's men do get breast cancer too. It's much rarer, but they do get it. And so one of the portraits we have in there is of a male who's a breast cancer survivor, and he's quite young. Actually, it's intense. I think he was diagnosed. He was 19 when he was diagnosed. It's just not the kind of thing you think of. So a little bit of awareness in the book as well. But really, it's about being that guiding light, that comfort for the women that are going through that.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks for inspiring us with that. And I'm having a look at some of the other images that you've sent me, Joseph, from this book. And yeah, they really are good. I like the tattoo, the one where the woman's got a tattooed up half her torso. It looks like you photographed
there's some incredible ones.
A lot of these people in their homes or in the environment.
We've had some good locations. I'd say probably about a 50-50 split between being in here in the studio. I've got I live in Ashland, Oregon, a tiny little town in Southern Oregon, and I've got a studio here. So probably about half of them were here and then half on location. And those locations could be people's homes. We went up to Portland and up to Seattle, and both places we got access to some pretty sweet places we could shoot in. Down in LA as well, same thing. Got a really great hotel that gave us space to work in. So we had some incredible backdrops, which is awesome. In as many cases as we can, the photo is meant to be a story of the woman. It's not just a portrait. It's not her against a white background. It's really a story of the photo is telling a story that goes along with her story. Why she made the decisions that she did, or how she got through the cancer. And not all the stories are happy. Some of the stories are quite sad and quite difficult to hear, but that's life. They're here today, and that's what they went through to get there or to get here. And so the photos are, as much as possible, a story of them. Obviously, when we're on location and going to places like going up to New City, where we have to cram in a bunch of shoots in one day, we don't always have the opportunity to build the story around the photo, or build the photo around the story, rather. So in those cases, we just have some pretty incredible locations that we're able to use and light and shoot in that were just awesome.
Wow, that's good. And that is so good to be able to do something like that and get involved in a project like this where you can, help people. I love that. That's awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Great.
Thanks. I'm really proud of it.
Thanks, Joseph. All right.
Yeah. So for listeners, just to say to beautyafterbreastcancer.com, listeners can go there and check out the project. We have a few photos up there. You can, learn more about the project and see how you'll be able to order a book when they come out. So beautyafterbreastcancer.com. Please check it out.
Awesome. And we'll put the link in the show notes too. So you guys can click on it. Awesome. Great.
Create.
So teach us something, Joseph. Show us how you create something.
So I'm an author for lynda.com. I have a ton of education up there, which is really, really fun. And the course that is technically called a series that is being released right now. It's a series about DIY photography. It's called The DIY Photographer. So if you go to Lynda, search for The DIY Photographer, you'll find it. Yeah. And being a series, there's a new video being released every other week. And it's really cool format. So Lynda, of course, lynda.com is $25 a month. But with the DIY series, there's one new video every 2 weeks. And once it's released, it's free for the 2 weeks until the next one comes out. And then that goes behind the paywall and the next one's free. So you could watch, if you were watching from the beginning, you could watch every video in the series for free, which is awesome. So these are all kinds of things that you would need to do as a photographer, need to build or want to buy, but not really necessarily want to spend the money on. There's a lot of photography accessories can be quite spendy, as I'm sure all of your listeners have figured out by now. And sometimes, if there's something cool that you want, but you don't really want to spend the $100 or $200 on it, and it's one thing if you're doing it for a job, but if you're doing it for fun, it's not always practical or economical to buy it. So, and a lot of these things you can build on your own. So some of them are to replace things that you would buy, and some of them are just cool ideas that you can make. So the one that we decided to talk about is a backdrop that you'd build, and this is built out of aluminum foil and some lighting, and that's really, aluminum foil is really the key here. And this video is not at the time of this recording, this video is not yet released on the Linda series, so it'll be coming up soon, so you can watch for this one.
Cool.
And the idea is that you're shooting portraits, and obviously you need you want a background. It could be a white wall, could be a tree, could be whatever. But if you take aluminum foil, and we've all seen these, you take aluminum foil and you crumple it up into a ball, or just crumple it in your hands, and obviously it's reflective. When you crinkle it, you get reflections going in all different kinds of angles.
Yeah.
Right. It's this really cool reflective texture. So when I did this, the first time I did this was for a party that I was shooting, and I wanted to do sort of like a photo booth at the party, basically.
Yeah.
And so I could do portraits of people there really easily. And I built this huge backdrop of sheets of aluminum foil. And I bought the really kind of industrial, really wide stuff, so I didn't have to use 50 sheets hanging from the wall. But just took strips of it, crumpled it up, and I think I taped them onto the wall or something like that. So it's obviously very lightweight, so you don't need any special background rigs to hang it. And crumple it up and put it up against the wall and overlap it so you get a relatively seamless background. And if you see the lines from it, you just crumple it until you don't see the lines. It's really easy to build. And then if you do if you put some lights on it, especially some colored gel lights on it, or if you're at a party, there's probably lights flashing all over the place, so everyone's going to be a little bit different. Light your subject, let the background get hit with what it gets hit with, and it can be really cool. And if you put it a little bit out of focus, go a little shallow depth of field, then it's this really shiny, cool, kind of mysterious, whatever, glitzy background. And if you let it be in focus, then it's this dynamic, sharp, poppy, brightly colored backdrop that goes along with the party. It's really cool, and it's obviously incredibly cheap to make. You go to the dollar store and buy a bunch of rolls of aluminum foil, and off you go. So it's a cool one. It's a fun one.
That's great. I'd love to try that. Do you have a picture of someone you photographed with that in the background that you can send me? That we can. Yeah,
absolutely. I will. I'll send that to you so you can show it up in the show notes. Yeah, it's the party that I did it for is still online, so you can send you to the gallery for that. There's a bunch of them.
I'll overlay that. Great. Well, thanks for that, Joseph. Really good create little bit there. I love the DIY photographer series. I need to go check this out because I've actually in the past made a lot of things for myself, diffusers and all sorts of different photography accessories because I couldn't afford it. And often here in Australia, it takes way too long to actually ship something. If I buy something off like B&H Photo Video in New York, the shipping is often more expensive than the product.
Right.
It's like $100 to ship it here to Australia. So sometimes I just got to make my own stuff. Yeah. So in January of 2016, which is really not that far away, I'm going to be doing this photography/cultural tour workshop in Oaxaca, Mexico. And the fellow that I'm doing this with has been doing cultural tours there for like 20 years or something. He's been doing it forever. And he's American, but he spends half of his time in Mexico, lives there half the time in Oaxaca. And he knows the people like no other foreigner possibly could. And he has access to things that regular tourists absolutely don't. And so he takes very small groups of people through these tours to see textile mills and see food being made in real traditional homes and museums and things that are off the beaten path and just some really, really interesting scenery and beautiful stuff to see. So we decided to turn this into a cultural tour/photography workshop. So people will be able to come along and learn photography, of course, and I'll be teaching just all kinds of things. We'll talk about doing portraits. We'll talk about food photography. We'll talk about landscape photography, and then obviously go out and shoot that. And the way we've set up the agenda, we have photography every morning, and then in the afternoon, when it gets a bit hotter, we go inside and get out of the sun and do some classroom type learning or a siesta. Yeah, maybe one or two of those. And then in the afternoon and evening, when it cools down again, we head back out and go back to shooting. And it's going to be a huge amount of fun, huge. So the place to find out about it, find out more, is you go to photojoseph.com/workshops. And cool.
It's there. We are not selling the tickets yet. There's a mailing list sign up for more info, so you can learn all about it. Everything you want to know is on the page right now, but sign up for that mailing list because we will be releasing the tickets very soon. It's going to be very limited space. I think we decided to max it at 9 people, I believe. So we're going to keep it quite small. And the good news is because it's Mexico, it's going to be very affordable. And we're not telling the price yet. We're still got a couple little last things to figure out before we have a price set, but it's going to be affordable for sure. This is not going to be some massive, $6,000 workshop, not by any stretch. Yeah. So it'll be much more affordable for more folks. And we're super excited about doing this.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. And is this a part of Mexico that's not like a big tourist
Absolutely.
destinations, so you can actually see the real people, the real culture.
Yeah,
and not,
you will.
not what
We will
tourist
be the
ones.
only foreigners there. That's
Awesome.
yeah. You know, I
Man.
can't guarantee that obviously, but that is
Yeah.
the expectation.
I'd love to come. I love going to places where you can actually get to meet the real people that actually live there. You know, not the tourist traps and
Yep.
you know what the local people want you to see. You actually get to experience the real culture, and that's what I love about workshops like this. Joseph, can I come along?
Absolutely, come on down.
I may be there. Who knows?
That'd be awesome.
Man, interesting guy, hey, PhotoJoseph.
I know, man. Awesome. And mate, I want to go to Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico,
Seriously,
man.
Seriously, what an awesome workshop.
And guys, like often you go to these places on these workshops and you go to all the touristy spots and you don't actually get to experience the real culture. And that's what I'm loving about this workshop that Joseph's having in January is you get to go away from all the tourist areas and you get to experience the real culture with someone who lives there or knows the people, has got like an insider thing. So,
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I know the spots are very limited, guys. So check out the link below, jump on his workshop, and man, I would love to go. So if I'm free, I'm going to try and make it happen, bro. Because it'd be awesome, mate.
And that Beauty After Breast Cancer project, what a great cause. You know,
Really
what a
inspiring.
good thing to get into. And, you know, helping women. And there's one guy in the booklet that's actually had breast cancer. So
Oh wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Man, you got to count yourself lucky every day when you're healthy, man, because people just go through adversity. And man, what a great way to give back with your photography. Absolutely love it. And the DIY photography, man, the MacGyver of photography. That's how you look at the bell. You're like, that's a bell hit.
No. And guys, I've made a lot of my own stuff too. So if you do want to save in your photography, making accessories like backdrops and things like that, here's the guy to watch. So check it out.
Yeah, man. Check out all the links below for his stuff. And don't forget to check out our free courses below. Super pumped about them. Click the link there. Choose what you're interested in and get started today.
Awesome.
Man, epic show.
Great.
Epic photographer. Absolutely loved it. Have a great week, guys.
See you next week. Bye.
To find out more, go to shareinspirecreate.com.